Welcome back to STL Live. I'm Sarah Thompson, and my guest is Charles Bryson, Executive Director of the Civil Rights Enforcement Agency. And thank you again for being here.
My pleasure.
Yeah, and when I was looking through this annual report, and there's a lot of interesting stuff here. Human and sex trafficking is one thing that continues to come up here in St. Louis. A lot of it having to do geographically with where St. Louis is, the highways, the transportation that we have here. Talk about your work in that area.
We was invited to a meeting today to discuss that and what our relationship, what our role might be with a number of different organizations that are working on human and sex trafficking, and also, I should say, labor trafficking as well. And that would be minors or people from a different country. And so what we're going to do is look at what does sex trafficking look like for us as a civil rights enforcement entity. And that may be landlord-tenant relationships, that could be helping to sponsor workshops or series of excuse me, series of exercises around teaching hotel workers and restaurant workers, and maybe even working with some of the labor unions around teaching some of their staff around those issues of human sex trafficking, what to look for. So when somebody blinks at you or looks at somebody else at the corner of their eye and then looks back at you, or mouths the words, "help me," they know what to do. They know who to call. They know how to handle those situations.
I want to. When in the first segment we kind of talked about fair housing, equal employment, public. We've kind of covered a lot of different areas, and the one thing that always keeps coming to mind is when someone is faced with discrimination, or they know someone who is, and they get this feeling or this thought, but they're not quite sure what to do. They should be calling you. Is that correct?
Yeah. What I tell people all the time is don't sour grape it. Don't say, "Well, I didn't want that anyway." If you feel in your gut that this situation just didn't seem right, don't outthink it. Call us. Let us be the determinant of if really by federal, state, and local law you've been a victim of discrimination. But every time you don't do that, then number one, they probably did it before. Two, they may be doing it to you. And three, they'll do it to the next person unless you stop it. So we always tell people, just call, send us an email, let us know what's going on. Let's see how we might be able to deal with that situation.
No, I think that's so important to hear, and that people know that there is a resource in the city of St. Louis that they can reach out to. When I look at last year's cases, closed cases, it says 27 fair housing, 8 equal employment opportunity, 2 public accommodation, some that are still open, 26 more fair housing, 8 equal employment opportunity, 5 public accommodation. We're kind of seeing this pattern. What are you thinking for 2020 is sort of going to be on the map here for you?
Well, I think one of the big things on the map is following the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. And one of the things that they've talked about is aging issues. And so we've already started laying that groundwork this coming year for working in aging. And that looks like making sure that those that are aging are in the workplace or staying in the workplace versus being aged out. And that if anybody wants to change jobs in the workplace are able to do so. You've got these technology issues nowadays that a lot of seniors aren't comfortable with, and yet they still have a quality of life and quality of work and a work ethic that should be admired and respected in the workplace. So we're going to be partnering with EEOC and AARP and St. Louis Association for area aging, among others, to really try to hone in on what are the problems with aging in the workplace and how do we help both businesses and individuals through this process. That's going to be one of the big keys that we're looking for. The second is going back to disability, making sure that people are comfortable in their environment. So we're going to look at how our streetscapes are done so that people have the ability to walk and or use a mechanical device to get through. So those are right-of-way protections we think that people should have, and we're going to be working with our restaurants, we're going to work with the license collector's office to really make sure that people have the ability to move around safely, comfortably, and have a good quality of life.
Such important work. I mean, and it just never ends. It really doesn't. But this is all really, really great stuff. And I just wish you the best of luck this year. It's a lot, but I mean, you're doing an excellent job. And
Thank you.
We appreciate all that the agency does and appreciate your time in coming here today.
Much appreciated.
Thank you. All right. Well, we've got the information there for On the screen, you can contact the City of St. Louis Civil Rights Enforcement Agent by calling 314-622-3301. Again, 314-622-3301. And as Charles mentioned, it just starts with that phone call first. If there's something going on and you're thinking in your head, call the number first. Don't just overthink it and put it away. And again, please share that number with others, 314-622-3301. All right, well, there's more STL Live right after this. Please stay with us.